Hello, this is Kevin Collins with Home Theater Forum. We have Kevin Voecks with us today, who is the manager of the
product development for Harman Luxury Audio Group. So that's Revel, JBL Synthesis, Mark Levinson, and Lexicon.
So what we want to talk about is just some of the key new products that you have today, Kevin. You were showing me the sound bar that you have for high-end home theater systems, or just when people do with their audio video in their living room. I see that's very thin. What's some of the other key features that you have for this product?
Well, this is actually the new Harman Kardon Sabre soundbar, and you can see it's extraordinarily thin. It utilizes 8 transducers. It's an LCR plus this very thin subwoofer, which you can place on a wall or a floor stand, or it'll slide underneath a couch very easily. So very flexible system, and unlike a lot of sound bars, it really gives you high-quality sound from the best sources, having 3 HDMI inputs, an optical input, and an auxiliary input. You've got this whole array of sources, and Bluetooth streaming from like a mobile device. It has Harman Kardon's proprietary virtual surround modes that you can select, so you don't have to use physical surround loudspeakers, and can get a really, really great presentation at a fantastic size and for $9.99.
Great. Also, when the Home Theater Forum people went down for the meet last October, we went to the factory, and you gave us a bunch of demonstrations, and just coming out and showing some of the 3 series of the Ultima Revels and Performa Revels. Can you explain what some of those key performance differences were in those?
Sure. Well, with the Performa3 series, we used a whole new mathematical approach to how we design the waveguides. And you know that a fundamental part of our corporate research findings have been that the directivity of a loudspeaker with respect to frequency is just as important as anything else, and it's generally overlooked. So we know that the off-axis response, the very far off-axis response, needs to be as smooth and flat as the direct sound. So that means that we need a waveguide to control the dispersion of the tweeter with respect to frequency. And the whole point is that the tweeter's dispersion should match that of the mid-range throughout the crossover region. Well, we're on our maybe 8th generation waveguides now. And this new approach has taken us in a new direction. So we're able to match that directivity at that crucial crossover range, but at the same time, and it almost seems impossible, the waveguide increases the dispersion at higher frequencies so that you get the best of both worlds. So compared to just no waveguide at all, like a flat normal tweeter, we have better dispersion at the highest frequencies, and we have optimized controlled dispersion down around the crossover region so that we have this really smooth match, and the result is just a continuity of sound so that you can't realize that there's a tweeter. It just sounds a lot more like music. And our double-blind tests really prove the importance of matching their directivity. It removes in a very important impediment between believability of the sound, and therefore it's more enjoyable, and it sounds more like music, or things blowing up in a home theater like we're hearing now.
When we were for the people that came down to the Home Theater Forum meet, we got a sample of listening to the Ultima 3s at the facility, and then we also went to Kevin's house and heard that, and it was incredible imaging that was on there.
Just so that people don't start any rumors, it's Ultima 2 and Performa 3. So yeah, the Performa 3 imaging is fantastic, and they're a big step up from Performa 2. The obvious thing is the industrial design is dramatically better, and beautiful form factors, but with the improved waveguide, with even lower distortion transducers, and when we do double-blind listening tests, that's really the last word, and they really handily beat the performance of their predecessors, and also at lower costs. The top model, the F208, is $2,000 a pair cheaper than the predecessor. So everyone wins.
Well, outside of the great sound, you always have great finishes. And if we walk over this way, we might want to look at some of the new finishes that you have. Kind of Apple, Steve Jobs kind of.
Exactly. Well, for whatever reason, white has caught on big time, and so we're offering white in a range of speakers from our little M8 bookshelf or a wall mount speaker to, in the Performa 3 series, the M105, which is the smaller bookshelf, the F206, which is the smaller of two floor standing speakers, and the B110 subwoofer, which is the smaller of the two Performa 3 series subwoofers. So that's quite popular. Plus, they're always also available in high gloss black and in this gorgeous American walnut. The finish is supervised by literally a master craftsman from Italy with, as you can see with your own eyes, the best finish that we've ever seen in the industry, and better than mega cars, actually.
Well, speaking of subwoofers, you also have a new upgraded line of subwoofers. I have the previous version in my house, and it's a 15-inch. You were telling me that these 12-inch would outperform those. Can you kind of explain that?
Well, yes, we really went all the way with our transducer design to begin with. That's the heart of the speaker. So here's the 10, and here's the 12-inch. Huge motor systems, 3-inch voice coils in both of them. Very long excursion capable spiders. That's often a weak point in subwoofers and a source of distortion. You can see that the lead-in tinsel leads are woven into the spider so that there isn't slapping. As we always look at long-term capability, that there isn't fatigue in the tinsel leads, and of course that they don't make any noises, because you don't want anything occurring above the crossover frequency from the subwoofer that's going to cause localizability. But we also have taken a really sophisticated approach to the protection and compression in the subwoofers, because that's what robs most subwoofers of dynamics. They may have a 1,000-watt amplifier, if that's really true, but their protection circuits could limit it to less than half of that effective power. So we're using a multi-band compression scheme using DSP that allows us to have much greater real-world dynamics than any subwoofers we've tested. We've, of course, as usual, brought in the competitors, done double-blind listening tests, and we're using a genuinely 1,000-watt amplifier both in our 10-inch and our 12-inch models, which is very rare, and sophisticated DSP that's user-adjustable so that you can have very high-resolution equalization in the room. You can use 4 of the subwoofers in the corners for an optimum system, because, again, our corporate research has determined that by placing 4 subwoofers in the corner, you can remove half the standing waves in the room. So that's pretty dramatic. And it leads to much more similarity in the sound, or consistency from one seat to another, because in most home theaters, you're going to see 20 to 40 dB variations at low frequencies. So you no longer have to only make one seat sound good. There's also full electronic crossovers, real crossovers in the subs, which are completely configurable to any roll-off rate that you want, any frequency. Everything can be adjusted. So there's real flexibility there.
Well, Kevin, thank you for your time. It's exciting. I can't wait to upgrade my system to the latest Revel. Hopefully that'll be this year. And this is Kevin Collins with Home Theater Forum at the Harman Kardon booth.